Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. My name is Derek, aka Professor Silly, and welcome to my series focused on the history of heavy metal music. I will be listening to a selection of albums in chronological release date order and giving my honest reactions, opinions, and then rating the album. Full disclosure, in my younger years, I was a metalhead. I played in a metal band from the age of 15 until 18, gigging in biker bars with older musicians. I'm very familiar with a number of the albums that I'll be revisiting and reviewing. Still, there are a lot of albums on my list that I've heard of but never got around to experiencing. In the interest of keeping this as fair use, I'll be heavily editing my reaction in order to make sure I don't run afoul of copyright issues. I'm not wanting to pause the music, but rather will be commenting as I feel inspired to do so, and then editing down from there. I'm also dubious of only hearing something once. Our experience of music grows as we become more familiar with it. So I'll be listening to the album, giving my initial impression, and then repeatedly throughout the following week, at the gym, during walks. I will then rate the album at the end of said week. Finally, if there's a heavy metal album that is your particular favorite, let me know in the comments. If it's not on my list, and I haven't passed the release date in my journey, I'll happily add it. My list has over 100 albums on it so far, but could always use a few more. Bump the microphone. You bump it, bump it, bump it, bump it. Okay. Hi. Now that we got that out of the way, Deep Purple. I am very familiar with at least one Deep Purple album and one song of theirs from the 1960s. I don't think I've heard anything from this album, Fireball. I didn't want this channel to start off with 4 back-to-back-to-back Black Sabbath albums. So I labored to look for albums that would fit chronologically between the Black Sabbath albums that at least somebody has called metal at some time. So far, the albums that I've been sneaking in there, other people may call them metal. I don't think they're metal per se, but at least we're breaking up the Black Sabbath stuff. So I got an album this week, and then next week it'll be back to Black Sabbath. Machine Head. Would I consider Machine Head to be metal? No. Smoke on the Water is an amazing song. I don't think it's particularly metal. Space Truckin'. I wouldn't call Space Truckin' metal. They could be made metal. A metal band could cover Deep Purple and easily make them more metal. The foundation's there. But are they influential? Abso-frickin-lutely. So I was curious to hear a Deep Purple album that I wasn't familiar with. And so Fireball is going to be that album. I have some notes that I made before coming here. So this was recorded between September of 1970 and June of 1971. So this was started recording around the same time as the last album, Black Sabbath Paranoid, was released. So one can imagine that this is probably potentially influenced by everything we've heard before. My understanding, from what little I've read, that this was released in July of 71. We're getting closer to the year of my birth. And this album represents a refocusing of direction to heavier music. Apparently they were kind of wandering away from that. And then clearly Machine Head is renowned as being a very foundational, amazing album. I may revisit it. I don't know. I'm super familiar with it, and I would put Machine Head, without listening to it like right now, it's easily A tier, if not S. I'd have to revisit it to see where I'd put it between those two. It's definitely an amazing album. This one, apparently not as famous. Although, even just looking at some of the comments, I have the video pulled up, or the music pulled up, and even the comments, people are like, this is so underrated. So we will see. So without further jibber jabber from me, let's break out my headphones and let's get to listening to this. Before I hit play, There is a difference in track listings between the original European release and the original US, Canadian, Japanese release. I'm going with the original European release for the record. So we're starting off with Fireball. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I hate to turn it down slightly so I can talk, but fuck. Okay. Tell me this wasn't an influence on drummer Van Halen, Alex Van Halen. Tell me it wasn't an influence on him. Well, another I think way of knowing if something is metal is an unconscious desire to turn that shit up. Sorry for my language. This is good. Ooh, that's a thick and fuzzy bass right there. Okay, we got to fade out. Oh, hell yeah. What a start of the album. All right. Holy shit, what a way to start the album off. I get the same vibe from it as I get from like Highway Star, which is how the next album starts off. Oh, hell yeah. That's great. Definitely never heard that. Looking at the rest of the songs on the track listing, I don't think none of the names look familiar. I think this is all going to be brand new stuff for me. All right. So the next one is called No, No, No. A little bit longer, looks like. groovy. There's a, between the gravel of the voice, there's just a dirtiness to this that's really visceral. Nice. Nice tone. Ooh. I don't mind a little fuzz on bass. In fact, fuzz on bass can be a great thing. Ooh. It's a Deep Purple if you don't have a keyboard solo. Anyway, what I was saying about bass, what I don't like is a tinny bass tone. I've gotten into many disagreements with other bass players about this, but like the bass of Yes, so like Roundabout, is the kind of bass tone I don't like. The bass of Donald Duck Dunn from the Blues Brothers soundtrack, to me, is like perfect bass tone. This bass tone is nice and full-bodied, like I like, even with the fuzz. Ian's vocals. That's what I wanted to hear. Hell yeah. Okay. Let's frickin' go. Okay. Clearly on track to be at least an A-rated album at this point. Holy shit. This is fantastic. I was expecting to be disappointed. I was like, oh, I love Machine Head so much. This is probably going to be like a pale imitation. Ooh, not so far. Coming in frickin' strong. Now, the next track is the one that's different between the releases. So on the original US, Canadian, Japanese release, and on what I have pulled up on YouTube, it's A Strange Kind of Woman, but the original release has a song called Demon's Eye, and I'm going to listen to Demon's Eye, so I need to track that down. It's all over here.
I don't mind just what you say. I never hurt you, baby. Never hurt you anyway. I don't care.
All right.
What you do.
So like on Uriah Heep, Lucy Blues, you got a blues structure, but this doesn't sound stale like that one did.
Like a demon's eye. Everything's good. I said everything's fine.
Almost reminds me a little bit of Willie the Pimp from Frank Zappa's Hot Rats, which I think is the same year, 1971. Reminds me a bit of that.
I've known it, baby. Almost every day. Like a demon's eye.
Okay, not as strong as the first two songs, but still good.
I don't need you anymore.
Ooh,
I don't
that's that. I heard some David Lee Roth. I wonder how influential this was to Van Halen. Wow.
and slide around my brain. You think you're so clever, yeah, but you know you're insane. Slide, slide like a demon's eye.
Nice bass guitar, like rhythm unison there. Unless that's keyboard. I don't think they only have one guitar player. So, unless he's multi-tracked. Gonna check out live versions of all of this for sure. Again, David Lee Roth. Awesome.
I never heard you. I never heard you anyway. No, I didn't. Everything's good. Everything's fine. You don't know. It's the end of your time. Yeah. Slide, slide. Like a demon's eye. Like a demon's eye.
Yes. Long fade out. Wow. There is a reason that I have never tried doing Deep Purple in karaoke, because Ian Gillan is a motherfucker of a vocalist. Oh. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I didn't like that as much as the first two tracks. Still really good. Blues structure, but it didn't sound like you did. No rolling of the eyes here. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, one might argue that a good chunk of metal is based on the blues. Blues is one could argue blues is a core elemental ingredient to what becomes metal. So especially like time you get to like, say, like by the time you get to like Danzig or things like that, pretty bluesy. So I'm not opposed to hearing more blatant blues structures in stuff, as long as they make it interesting, which Deep Purple did, for sure. I will listen to the American release as well, during the course of my week-long journey with the album, going to the gym and whatnot. And so I'll get a feel for why they may have taken this song off and replaced it with a different song, for non-European audiences. It's interesting. So next would be Anyone's Daughter. Yeah. Rounding out side one with one more track. Anyone's Daughter. That sounds like it might be a little bit dangerous and risque. We'll see. That would be the rock thing to do, yeah? All right. Ooh, okay. What you guys doing? Oh, that's bluesy. Interesting.
Well, I stood under your bedroom window, throwing up a brick. No one came, I threw one more, that really did the trick. Your daddy came and banged my head. He said, what kind of man is this that's hanging round my girl? Threw me in the can. You're a farmer's daughter, you're a farmer's daughter. Why do I always get the kind of girl I didn't ought to get? I won't get no more eggs and water. Now I've laid the farmer's daughter.
All right. The guitar is saving it right now. Nice stereo effects.
Imagine I was a full-grown man and I could talk just right. Could I come and see you here and do this every night? Wham! The door comes crashing down, your daddy's face all pale. Says, come with me, you hairy bum, I'll put you in my jail. You're a judge's daughter, you're a judge's daughter.
Oh, well, that's no good.
I always get the kind of girl I didn't ought to get. Now I'm getting jail and torture, 'cause I made the judge's daughter. Yes, I did. It was
Whoops.
nice.
It was a nice.
Seems they're screaming law and order when I go with anyone's daughter. Woman, I should like some peace, and daddy, hold your tongue. I think you're gonna die of fright when I tell you what I've done. I can hear your tales and lies. You say I'm dumb and scraggy, but man, this dumb and scraggy is your daughter's baby's daddy. She's a lucky daughter, such a lucky daughter. Why did I always get the kind of girl I didn't want to get? Now I've got what I always fought for, 'cause I've married a rich man's daughter. What do you think of that?
Right. Well, if you took out the what sounds like steel guitar almost, and the stereo effects that the steel guitar was doing, if you took that out, I would have been really annoyed with everything else about that song. The sort of like old west honky tonk piano, the overused trope as far as the lyrical content, etc. But the guitar made it just interesting enough. Not as strong as the first three songs, certainly, but fun. I don't think I would be like skipping that on subsequent listens. We'll see. It's no more annoying than, and don't come at me in the comments about this. It's no more annoying than any of the Ringo Starr songs on any of the Beatles albums. Now, don't come at me. I know. My wife, some of her favorite Beatles songs are the Ringo songs. So, it is what it is. It was or no more annoying than like one of my favorite albums, Angel Dust by Faith No More, which will be featured on the channel when we get to that year. RV is kind of a country-esque song kind of shoved in. It's less annoying than that. That song, fortunately, that song is short enough that I don't ever feel the need to skip it. So that one was not my favorite. But it was interesting nonetheless. We'll see how I feel about it at the end of the week. So moving on to side 2, we got 3 more songs. The middle of which they're all kind of longer. Starting off with The Mule. Nice bottom end. Like the drums too. Here's some like cream.
Used to sing and say my prayers, live my life without a care. Now I have become a fool, as I listen to the news. How can I change when my mind is a friend of a Lucifer hitting the ground? Just another slave for the moon.
This song sounds remarkably psychedelic compared to everything else in the album so far. And kind of out of place. I thought we'd moved past the psychedelic rock of the late 60s, and this... I'm hearing some Cream, I'm hearing some Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles. Interesting choice. And yet, hearing some of the, within the keyboard here, hearing some of like what would be the post-psychedelia of the 70s, of like Edgar Winter Group, like Frankenstein, things like that. Ooh, got a phaser on the guitar. I think it might be the first time we've heard phaser in this journey. Yeah, not only is the drum similar to Tomorrow Never Knows, but it has that drone note, which I think is also giving me that vibe. They're spinning out. Nice stereo. All right. All right. That was so psychedelic. Wow. 71. Wow. Okay. I mean, just because it was 1971 doesn't mean that people stopped doing psychedelic drugs. So I suppose that was like a "you're welcome," suburban America, doing the brown tab acid in the bedroom with stereo headphones on. It's kind of short for that though, but whatever. Right. Next track is called Fools. This is the longest track on the album, clocking at 8 minutes and 21 seconds. Almost sounds Native American. Ooh. Also pretty psychedelic. Keyboards have a kind of a churchy feel. No longer psychedelic. Nice guitar. Very dissonance in the keyboard. Okay, like that change. That reminds me of something. Getting a very cello-like sound there. I imagine it's just guitar and volume. Sounds like cello there, though. Oh, I gotta look now. Not sure how they got that effect there, because it sounds like a cello being bowed. But I just looked at there's no information about the song itself, but there is information about just who played on the album. There's no indication there's any cello. So inclined to think that's actually guitar. I'm just curious how he got that particular sustain that sounds like it's being pulled, like a bow across strings, like that continuous friction. I imagine this is before the creation of EBows, and even EBows don't sound like that. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how that effect was achieved, but it sounds kick-ass. Okay. All right, we're down to our final track. No One Came. Not quite as long as that last one, but longer than the Mule. All right, let's do it.
'cause I'm only starting.
Oh, yeah.
I think it won't take too long. Maybe it's because I can see you laughing. I think you've got it wrong. Maybe I could be like Robin Hood, like an outlaw dressed all in green.
Bottom end again.
Someone said,
Sounds
"What's he
so
gonna
good."
Turn out like someone else said, never mind. Well, I was big and bold and more than twice as old as all the cats I'd ever seen. I grew my hair and bought a suit of shiny white. It wasn't cream. I shook and shivered and danced and quivered and stood on the mountaintop. No one came from miles around and said, man, your music is really hot. Well, I knew what they meant because I was a freak.
That reminds me of something.
My pretty face just looked out of place as they poured on the scorn. I wrote on yellow paper from a man who was king. He said my boy will have some crazy scenes. There weren't any scenes at all like he was talking about. Yeah, he must have been the king of queens. Well, I could write a million songs about the things I've done, but I could never sing them so they'd never get sung. Well, there's a law for the rich and one for the poor, and there's another one for singers. It's die young and live much longer and spend your money and sit and wonder. No one came from miles around.
Vocal delivery there reminded me a little bit of Jimi Hendrix, I think. Kind of spoken style there.
And say things as they really are. But if I told the truth and nothing but the truth, could I ever be a star? Nobody knows who's real and who's faking. Everyone's shouting out loud. It's only the glitter and shine that gets through. Where's my Robin Hood outfit? Well, I've come and I've gone before you wink an eye. And no one even cared enough to say goodbye. The money's good and the times you have fun and games galore, but you spend your money and you lie in bed forgotten and wonder what you did it for. No one came from miles around and said, man, who's he?
Yeah. The vocal deliveries reminded me a lot of Jimi Hendrix, which isn't a terrible thing, but it's not Ian's strength either. Yeah. I was wondering where that feedback was going to go. Backwards stuff always just sounds a little bit evil. Another fade out. Interesting. This is, so far, my opinion of this is really good. The strength of those first two tracks, I was just like, okay, okay. It didn't maintain that momentum. Definitely going to be rating better than the Coven or the Uriah Heep, I think. It's probably between B and A. But I'm going to listen to it over the course of the next week. As well as I want to track down a live performance and see if I can find that, because that always helps me appreciate music more when I can see musicians playing it. And I'd also like to track down some other stuff that was coming around the same time. I may not revisit Uriah Heep, but I'm curious to hear like what their next album sounded like. So I'm going to start listening to just stuff from 1971 in general, but always starting with this album. I'll listen to Fireball, and then if the workout's taking longer than the length of the album, which it will, then I'll throw on something else from 1971 just to kind of continue giving myself perspective on what the music scene was when this hit. So cool. I will see you in one moment. Okay, it has been a week, and I have some notes. So in addition to listening to this album, I also checked out In Rock, which I had never listened to either, and a 1972 concert, which included material from Machine Head, which I've already heard, and I'm already very familiar with, and I am going to add that into my list. I'll go ahead and review Machine Head as well. I am especially... Ghosts. I'm especially blown away by the vocals and the guitars. And I'm especially excited now to check out Rainbow later on in the 70s. I've never listened to Rainbow. I know that that's where Dio comes into the picture as well. So Ritchie Blackmore and Dio, Ronnie James Dio together. Pretty excited for that. Going through the tracks. Fireball. I stand by my comparison with Alex Van Halen. I would be amazed if this wasn't a huge inspiration on his drumming. At one point, I was going back and forth between the US version and the UK version. The US version has a different track than Demon's Eye, Some Kind of Woman, I believe it's called, which was a single. But then they added it to the US. They didn't want to wait for them to finish recording Demon's Eye to finish up and get into the post-production for the US version, so they replaced it. So I have a note. I might like how the US track list flows better than the original, and then maybe not. Demon's Eye has that David Lee Roth thing, plus it's got great instrumentation. They're both great songs. I can see why Some Kind of Woman was a single. It feels more like a single. Anyone's Daughter. I didn't love this track when I first heard it. The more I listened to it, I got Rocky Raccoon vibes from the Beatles off of it, especially in some of the cheeky vocal delivery, but better. I like it better than Rocky Raccoon. It's haunting. I liked it more and more with each listen. The Mule. I think I compared that to the Beatles, to Tomorrow Never Knows. Also getting vibes reminiscent of The Who, specifically I Can See for Miles, especially in the drums. Fools gives me some Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner vibes in the slow little middle section. All right, so those are my notes. Right, so how would I rate Fireball? I don't, it's not S tier. Is it A or is it B? I mean, it's honestly, it's really good. I'm gonna put it under B. I'll revisit. I'll listen to it on occasion. Not all the time, but if it came on, I wouldn't turn it off. And I may put it on here and there. I'm second guessing it now. Should it be under A? Yeah, it should be A. I'm moving it up. There we go. Yeah. I'll put it under A. It was. I really enjoyed listening to it all week. I'm definitely gonna listen to it some more in the future. Really, all three albums in rock, also probably right up there in that same realm. Right. So looking down at the albums coming up, Black Sabbath next. That's true. I've been adding albums. I originally said that I wouldn't necessarily consider Led Zeppelin to be metal, but I went back and using the criteria that I'm using, some people do. I think School of Rock, Jack Black his character in that film would certainly agree that Led Zeppelin 4 belongs on the list. So I've got some more Black Sabbath. I've got some Blue Oyster Cult. I'm going to listen to probably more than just that first album. I'm going to listen to some more Deep Purple. I did check out the second Uriah Heep album. Sorry. It was all right. I didn't hate it, but yeah, I got more and more stuff being added, especially as I communicate with friends as well as folks commenting on earlier videos. I'm definitely this is meant more for exploration than anything else. So not only do I have those next two Sabbath albums, I think I've got like 7 Sabbath albums or something ridiculous like that on the list altogether. I'm going to be going through a lot of Black Sabbath throughout the 70s, into the Dio era, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. I hope you enjoyed experiencing this album if it was your first time along with me. And there's plenty more. If you're enjoying taking this journey with me and you want to continue going through these albums, make sure you subscribe. Maybe hit the alert bell if you want. I don't mind. I won't charge. No one's making any money off of this except for the music owners themselves. I don't know if they're making that much money either with what kind of views I'm getting at this point. But at some point, if this channel blows up, cool. The artists, the owners of the copyrights, they're going to be getting all of the stuff. I'm not expecting, what with copyright issues and everything, I'm not expecting to make a single dime. I'm doing this because I love music and I love discovering new music, and this is a good excuse to do so. So I hope you have a good rest of your whatever, and I will see you next week. Ta-ta.